Hi there. I wanted to share with you something that I started doing over 10 years ago. My mom had Alzheimer's, and in fact, she did die of it. And when I turned 50, my biggest concern is what happens if my kids don't remember me? My mom used to tell me all the stories of when I was a kid and how much I meant to her. And just, I loved hearing it. We never hear enough about when we were children. And so when I turned 50, I thought to myself, what happens if I get Alzheimer's? What happens if I'm not here to tell my kids the stories of how much I love them and how proud I am? So at age 50, I made a decision on my birthday that I was going to put treasure boxes together. You might call them memory boxes. I call them treasure boxes. And I started off with very small ones, little ones for my kids. And I have four. I have four children. And so they have kind of grown to a bigger box now, quite a bit bigger as a matter of fact, because I really got into it, and so did the kids. So what happens is all throughout the year, I will put in things in the box that are big deals, things like graduation and birth, or birthdays that we had celebrations, mugs when my son got married, that we used at his wedding. My daughter had a baby, so this year we put in her birth announcement of little Logan. And then throughout the year, I go through all the boxes that I've had, and I had a lot of boxes of pictures. And I pull every year some new pictures that might be something that was memorable. And I put them in the box. So throughout the year, things are going in the box. It started off being birthday and Christmas. It ended up just being Christmas that I did this. So a few days before Christmas, I would spend 4 to 5 hours literally writing letters to my kids and crying the entire time, I have to tell you, because it was very emotional. The first few letters that I wrote were things about when they were children and little stories that they always liked to hear about when they were kids. And I would put pictures on the letters so they could see and correlate to those together. As it's progressed, what has happened is now when I write the letters, I write letters about how proud I am of them and what happened in this previous year. And I add photos to it. So it used to be 1 page. Now it's gotten quite a bit bigger with 2 pages and more, because there's so much that happens in our lives and with our kids' lives. And so I have done this now for 10 years. And at Christmas time, what it looks like is we open our gifts, we open up our stockings, and the very last thing I do is I hand them their treasure boxes. And they all sit quietly around and they read them. And a couple of them are married and they read them with their spouses. And sometimes they cry. I cried when I wrote them. Sometimes they just get big smiles on their faces. And every time they go through their boxes and they look through all the pictures and all the things that I've put in there. Now, keep in mind, they only could look on this Christmas Day. So this is something that they really look forward to. And then they come up and they give me a big hug afterwards and they just say, "Thanks, Mom. We never talk about it. We never talk about what I wrote." It has been a very, very special memory for us, and my kids love it. So I thought maybe this might be something you might want to pass on, your legacy, so that your kids know you, and your grandchildren know you, and your great-grandchildren know you. So I hope that helps. I hope it's something that maybe you might start in a new tradition in your family. Thanks for listening.